Hey guys, it's Cerulean Jake bringing to you the next episode, the next week of the VGC Pals Draft League. And this time around, we are going up against Bad Draft. And like I said at the end of the last episode, it is anything but. If you take a look at this draft, we have a lot of terrifying members. And well, I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. I was not able to come up with a team that I feel super confident in. Pretty much everything I was able to put together comes with a big asterisk of it loses hard to this. So realistically, I just did the best that I could. Are we going to win this one? You know, I hope so. We can win. I did practice and I was winning a majority of the time. But that's because I was practicing against one variation of the team. One slight variation, and this could throw the whole thing in his favor. So, I don't know. Let's just get into the team builder and let's talk about it. So, up first we have Chien Pao and Dragonite. I know we have been bringing this to every single game thus far. It's like that Jimmy Neutron meme of showing off Ultra Lord for the 17th time. But this time Chien Pao is a little bit different, just a little bit. So we know that with the Indeedee and Hoopa Unbound, they are going for a expanding force strat, and a lot of people have been trying to overwrite the terrain. I've decided to go with something just a little bit simpler. We're going to go with the Ice Spinner. There is always the possibility that they are going to go for that the skill swap strat to be able to set the terrain back up even after I destroy it. However, I have done a little bit of math. So long as I go adamant with max attack, a single crunch will guaranteed kill Indeedee female at max defense. I've been trying to rack my brain as to what he could possibly do to stop it, and realistically the only thing I could come up with was if he went a, what is it called, a Kasib berry? Just the dark resist berry is what I'm getting at. I think this is fine. I think we're good here. If he goes Kasib berry, then, well, he goes Kasib berry. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. The goal here is we're just going to try to one-shot. If he leads the Indeedee female with Hoopa, which he has done a lot, we're just going to try to one-shot the Indeedee because it's probably going to click follow me, and Hoopa Unbound is going to go for the Trick Room. Well, that's where Dragonite comes in, but we'll talk about him in a minute. Some other things that Chien Pao is here for, you notice that it has Ice Shard, and Ice Shard is actually for Shaman, because Ice Shard will not only go before it, since unfortunately without Jolly, we are not able to outspeed Shaman Sky with max speed, but Ice Shard just one-shots it. So long as it doesn't terrestrialize, we will one-shot it and be able to stop it from getting Tailwind or attacking our partner or whatever it's doing. So that pretty much describes everything I'm going for with the Chien Pao here. Really, the only things that you need to know here is that the Clear Amulet is to deal with a Arcanine lead, and the Terra Ghost is to deal with Iron Valiant and a potential Terra fighting Hoopa. If, you know, if we're not in a situation where we can just kind of destroy that lead. Hopping on over to the partner here, we have Dragonite. These are going to be our dedicated leads, and I'm being perfectly honest, I don't know what else to lead if we don't lead this. We are, of course, going with the loaded dice set. That is pretty typical for us. We also we wanted to pick up the Stomping Tantrum because that is going to be our way to deal with the Arcanine Hisui. And again, we are going another round with no extreme speed. It's one of those things where I really want to bring it because this is what I built the team around, but it feels like it's super obvious and everyone's prepping for it. So maybe next week. I haven't really looked at our opponent yet, so I guess we'll see. But anyway, in our third slot, you may be thinking, okay, well, you're Terra Poison. Is that how you're going to deal with the Iron Valiant? It's like, well, yes, but we're not bringing Terra Blast. We're not bringing Iron Head. We're not bringing anything that's going to deal super effective damage. If If we want to deal with the Iron Valiant, we're just gonna have to hit it. So Stomping Tantrum it is. And I ultimately decided to go with Haze in my third slot because Dondozo ended up being a huge issue, even though I have a dedicated answer for it. So, moving right along to our next option. In the back, we are going with Poltergeist and Primarina. Tried and true combo, but we'll notice some key differences here. We have Heat Proof and Terra Ground. So this is sort of like a remnant of something else from the past. Was originally toying around with the idea of leading Poltergeist and being able to imprison the Trick Room. Now, I decided to leave this set entirely the same, rather than moving its set around to be more appropriate for what it has become. Because I don't know if he is going to surprise me with something and Qian Pao Dragonite is not going to be the lead to end all leads anymore. So I decided to just leave it the same. I went Heat Proof plus Terra Ground to be able to deal with Arcanine Hisui. And the reason that I did it this way is because with Heat Proof, I am able to live a Flare Blitz if I am not taking super effective. However, why Terra Ground? Wouldn't you want to resist some of the other things I can do better? Well, I kind of came to the realization that Head Smash, even like through everything, was still just kind of killing me. So, you know, we kind of just hope that he doesn't realize that and he goes for Flare Blitz. So that's kind of what this set here is for. Everything, we don't have an attacking move, so if we end up with just Poltergeist, then we're in a really unfortunate situation. I really hate doing this, but we kind of have to. So we really need the Imprison if we end up in a situation like that. We do have the Life Dew to keep our Primarina alive. Same thing with the Rage Powder, and this becomes really important because Primarina is our our dedicated answer into Dondozo. So if you think about all the moves that Dondozo likes to take, Dondozo likes to take Wave Crash, it likes to take Order Up, and it likes to take Earthquake. It has a flex spot that it can do all sorts of things with, but mainly it's going to be stuff that can't deal with Primarina. So that's why we're going with Primarina. Now, it also has the Haze. This is a little bit redundant with the Dragonite, but what I found is that when this was my dedicated answer to Dondozo, taking one physical hit with all of those stat boosts was not a great time. I was not having a good time taking that hit and then getting the Haze off because I'm slower than it. And there just really wasn't any way I could afford to outspeed it. I don't remember if I even could outspeed it. I don't remember that from testing. I need that bulk, so I can't invest in the speed. So ultimately, we ended up having to go with this. Hyper Voice is mainly here to get the throat spray off, because there's not a whole lot of stuff that we're exactly trying to hit with the Hyper Voice. This is mainly a Moonblast type of game. But I do really like getting the +1 to the special attack and being able to Moonblast a lot more things for good damage. That said, if he does bring the Mamoswine, then I can act as a decent answer into that as well. If he does bring the Mamo, then that's a lot of pressure that I'm putting on Primarina, and that is why I've added a different member to this team, and we'll get to that. Lastly, we have Terra Dark, because we are looking at we're looking at a unfortunate situation if we end up against Hoopa Unbound. If he pivots around and we end up having to beat Hoopa with Primarina, that thing carries Gunk Shot, and we don't want to get one shot against that, but we also don't want to open ourselves up to Expanding Force or Hyperspace Fury. So Dark is our way to resist or be immune to both of those stabs, and basically forcing Gunk Shot to still be its best option. Moving right along, I do not necessarily plan to take these two unless two specific Pokemon arrive. First up, we have Scizor, and Scizor is going to be my dedicated answer to Iron Valiant if it turns out that Iron Valiant has been such a problem for me. We have the Assault Vest just in just in case it is the special variant. For the most part, we are just wanting to click either Bullet Punch or Dual Wing Beat on this thing. Probably Dual Wing Beat if we can afford it, but you know, it's not perfect. Obviously, we would get outsped and we have to eat a hit first. So if it has some sort of coverage for us, then that really sucks. The Bullet Punch would be preferable, but I don't believe that it kills. So either way, we're kind of eating a hit there. We have the Bug Bite to be able to deal with the Hoopa Unbound and the Indeedee female. And then finally, Terra Blast Water is to deal with that Arcanine that is obviously threatening us. I'm not sure it's going to be enough, but we should live a hit since we would be a water type. So not too worried about it. And then finally, we have the Swampert. This is once again a very specific counter that has a little something to help us with other stuff. Specifically, we are looking at the Mamoswine. Mamoswine was kind of just a huge issue for my team because it puts too much pressure on Primarina. Primarina has the dedicated job of taking down Dondozo, and that is a huge job that it needs to fulfill. That is a lot to ask of a single Pokemon. So if the Mamoswine shows up and it's being difficult for us, then we have the Swampert. We can bring it, we can just smack it with a Liquidation, and then kind of not worry about it. We have Poison Jab to be able to cover a couple things. We have Poison Jab for the Iron Valiant, Poison Jab for the Shaman Sky. That's pretty much it, but I mean, we get stab on it if we Terrastalize, so that's the nice part. It's just meant to make it so we're not auto-losing to Shaman Sky. We also have Yawn to just be annoying when Swampert has kind of done its job. So that's the main point of that. And then finally we have Wide Guard in case Swampert ends up in a situation against Hoopa with the Expanding Force up and ready to go. So, I mean, you can see that I've done a lot of planning. I have done a lot of this checks this can beat this. But you can also see that I'm not very confident that all of my checks are going to end up doing what they're supposed to do. Because there's definitely situations where you can pivot around and you can kind of just make what checks I came up with not work. So, you know, we're just hoping for the best. I'm not fully confident in this. I just really want this to work. I think it'd be really awesome to win this battle, but there's no guarantee. So, you are ready for a edge of your seat battle. Well, I hope I can promise that. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, we are here and ready for the battle. Let's go ahead and get this challenge underway. This, and no, we're not taking the practice team, we're taking this. Let's do it. Challenge sent. Let's see what he's got. What'd you bring? What'd you bring? There it is. Okay, so he brought both of the Pokemon I was kind of worried about, but he did not bring Tatsugiri, which is interesting. So that kind of puts the kibosh, or however you want to word it, on really needing Primarina, which is interesting. So I do want to go ahead and lead the Chien Pao and Dragonite, because that is... Hold on. You too. That is what we're going to be using to deal with that lead. He's put the battle timer back on, which is unfortunate because I kind of wanted some time to think about this. For dealing with this, I kind of like the Pert. I feel like Swampert matches up well into a lot of this, though I don't really, even with that, I don't really know what I do to deal with the Dondozo, even if he doesn't have all of those boosts. So, what if we go... do we need Poltergeist at this point? Maybe, because I mean, Poltergeist, it's kind of meant to also shut down the Trick Room if it comes up later. We could just go the exact plan like what I had prepared for, and then make adjustments as needed. Is what we could do. This would... Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I don't hate it. Let's give it a shot. Okay. Block the Intimidate. You are getting a speed boost. You are threatening both of us, unfortunately. What I kind of want to do is I kind of want to go for a Protect here. And then while you are attempting to Moonblast my Dragonite, we Terrasilize and we go for the Stomping Tantrum. That seems like the most obvious choice here. I don't really have any predictions because I don't really know what he's going for. It's so hard to be able to predict what a Iron Valiant is even wanting to do. What do you have? You are Terra Fairy, Terra Flying. I wasn't able to look at all of that, unfortunately. Okay, so we lose a little bit of speed, which is unfortunate. So the Rock Slide does come out, but we are going to live it because we Terrasilized, and we can go ahead and get rid of that Arcanine, which is awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at these again. Steel, Ghost, Fairy, Water. Okay, so we're dealing with a Terra Fairy Dozo here. Dragonite is not exactly in a good position to be able to do much of anything here, unfortunately. Chien-Pao is actually not really accomplishing much here. So what I can go for... let's go for... I don't want to reveal Ice Spinner just yet. Let's go into Poltergeist. No, let's just Ice Spinner and Protect. Moonblast, that was a good call. Go for the Yawn. I Protect the Yawn. We do see that it has Yawn now, which is a good thing to spot out. What are we wanting here? I kind of want Prim on the field. Let's get Prim on the field. And let's go for a Hyper Voice. We won't do a whole lot of damage to the Dondozo, but we should do a decent amount of damage to this guy here. Unfortunately, Dragonite's just kind of going to go down because his speed is washed here. What'd you go for? You went for a Yawn? Okay. We don't really have to sacrifice him, though. We can just go into the Poltergeist, which is what I think I will be doing here. Because doing it this way reveals that we're... It does not reveal that we are not Hospitality. Beat him and blast pretty good. Go for the Hyper Voice. We get the damage. That's unfortunate, because we are going to go to sleep here, but we knew that that was a big possibility. They could just go for some Protects here to stall it out. Let's go for... We could go for another Hyper Voice to try to get rid of you. Or I could go for a kill shot on the... Let's go Hyper Voice again. And let's get the Trick Room going. My special attack fell. Bro, come on. Okay. That is a possibility. See, I didn't think that you'd have that in the back. That's kind of crazy. That's nuts. I was 100% convinced it was going to be Mamoswine, which apparently would have been a bad choice anyway, because he could have gone min speed on Mamoswine too. Yeah, that was just a really bad and uninformed play that I went for there. I mean, we're just going to try to get that. We're going to go for the life dew. Healed up as much as I can. How much did we take? 43%. Okay. Let's go for it again. Ooh. Can we live? Oh, the Hyperspace Fury. Okay, how much did that do? The Wave Crash did 27%. I see. Let's go for... There's two Trick Room turns left, unfortunately. Go for this, followed by a Protect. It didn't kill. Damn. Damn, that is really unfortunate. And yeah, we're too low HP to be able to deal with this. I mean, we can go for another Protect. I don't see a way to win, though, is the thing. Because, like, sure, I can kill one of these guys. I mean, what I could do is I can get my... Let's get a damage check. This is a defense minus. Okay. So with defense minus, he only took half, which means he might be bulk invested, I think. Okay. Game 2. So we can lead the same. See, Prim did actually put in a lot of work there. Even minus the Trick Room. Chien Pao was kind of neutralized. It really wasn't accomplishing a whole lot. The thing is, I still have to be worried about this. Because if I don't take it, then I don't have a way to deal with that. But what we can do instead is... See, we can try to just break the Dondozo eventually, instead of having to hit it with Primarina. So we can bring the Pert, because I mean, we can yawn it in return. I mean, maybe we just bring both Pert and Prim, because obviously the Trick Room wasn't really doing us any favors. That might be the key here. Let's go ahead and go for it. Because I'm not really sure what else to do here. Okay, same leads. You know what I'm doing here now. So I kind of want to get greedy and call your Terra. Is it really greedy, though? So, I mean, we could just protect, or we could double into it. Dang. And we missed the scale shot. You know... So that was a bad call. However, I think that may just wrap up the game. Okay, don't think about that. Think about how to get back in. We'll talk about that later. That's what the end game wrap-up's for. So we unfortunately don't have the Trick Room for this, but we do have a little bit of support with Pert. We can... So what we can do is we can go for the Hyper Voice, which seems pretty good to me here, because you're at half. I don't think that you're taking this. You're guaranteed to be faster than me, though, is the issue. Both of them are going to be faster. So what we can do is we can go for the Hyper Voice, and we can try to clean up a kill. You know, just taking that much damage is going to be really rough for us. Let's go for the Poison Jab and see what happens. Damn. Yeah, that's a one-shot. Unfortunate. Yeah, that would have cleaned up the kill there. Yeesh. What do you have in the back? You probably went the exact same thing. So Blast probably does the same. So that's going to do the same amount of damage. I'm going to call that you're going for Moonblast. I'm going to Terra. Eat it pretty good. But then the Wave Crash comes out, I assume. Yawn. Okay. Is the safer play. There's the Hoopa. Then Liquidation. I mean, I don't see a way to get through this. I can try to Yawn. I would assume that you're more threatening than us. We could also just go for... We could go for a crit. I think that's our way to get through this, is we go for a crit. Ah, Expanding Force. Oh, we eat the crit. Nice. GG. Yeah, we kind of knew that... I feel like game 2 was not super exemplary of kind of how that game was going to go. Game 1, there's a lot more to talk about there. There were some critical errors there that I would really like to delve into and analyze. So that's going to be the focus of our little talk at the end here. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Well, guys, it's another loss, but we did what we could. 2-0 is certainly not doing great wonders for our record, given that we don't earn any points from that. But, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you get 2-0'd, sometimes you do a lot better than that. And this is one of those unfortunate times where we didn't do so hot. So what could we have done better? Well, I just want to be very honest about Game 2 real quick. I made one bad call, and on top of getting a bad call, I also missed a crucial scale shot. Because if I had made the correct call, you know, it's kind of that classic, if you've ever seen Farfa, that classic Farfa saying, if other thing would have happened, then other thing would have happened. Yeah, if I would have made the right call, then things would have been great, but I didn't, so is what it is. But also, if the scale shot would have hit, who knows, maybe we would have got lucky, maybe we could have killed the Arcanine, I don't know. Something could have happened. Now then, Game 1. What could have been done better? I actually think that it's very possible my selection, my Pokemon selection, was off. Now, it's been a little while since I've played the games, so it's kind of hard for me to remember what my thinking was, because I didn't want to go back and watch, like, everything I was saying, everything I was thinking in the moment. Instead, I just watched the replay. And I think I would have been a little bit better better off without the Poltergeist. It did manage to keep my Primarina alive longer, which did end up being an important thing because we got yawned and we had to go through all our sleep turns. Well, I think even still, it's entirely possible that we would have just been better off bringing, like, the Scizor or something. Dondozo was just a really hard matchup for us, and we did not have, like, a whole lot of easy answers. So maybe lightening the load from the Hoopa Unbound could have been a little better. I don't know. It's hard to say. I really did watch that game fully intent on finding some good answers of how I could have done better. And, man, the major thing I came up with was this was just a really hard week for us. So, I think that we did our best, and that's all you can really ask for. Even in that game 2, I want to say that I'm really proud of the fact that I was able to put into action something that I had learned a long time ago of don't doom and gloom, don't just give up, play to your outs, try to win the game, even in completely dire straits. So that was good on me. I, pat myself on the back for that. Looking forward, what do we have? We have our next opponent is the Uptown Ursalunas. And, this one feels pretty even. He's got a good team, but I feel like I can beat it. So, let's give it our best shot. See you in the next one.